Hi everyone, I'm Lauren and I'm back again with a Disney movie and stuff watching project thingy majiggy. And today I'm talking about one of the newer movies that they put out in the Marvel series, and that is Black Widow. So Black Widow is a kind of backstory sort of Black Widow. And it takes place, it's in between two movies. I don't know which ones. It's in a spot in the cinema MCU where a lot of people are going, yeah, the Avengers are dumb. They should be governmentized. They should be controlled more. Something like that. So a few of them go into hiding, and Black Widow is one of them. And so it's kind of like what she does then, and then she meets up with a bunch of her family members and goes over a lot of past stuff and how she was raised and all that kind of thing. I was particularly interested in this because, I don't know, there wasn't really much backstory about Black Widow or anything like that in any of the other MCU films. It was just kind of like, hey, you're Black Widow. A lot of the other characters have had backstory type stuff, and she hasn't really had much character development, I feel like, in the overall films compared to some of the other characters. So I was hoping this would be a thing. So part of the main plot is that she's hiding from everybody. She has all this big setup so she can hide away with fake identities and whatnot. And then she kind of stumbles upon a thing, like these vial type things, and people are trying to steal them, and she's just like, what's this? And tries to go figure it out. Eventually leading to trying to get revenge on some people that wronged her in the past, and reconvening with her family members. And this was really disappointing, and it really felt really long. So the thing for me, and film barely has started and I'm already having problems with it, which is not really good, not a good best foot forward or whatever, insert a better phrase. Because she gets all this help to go into hiding, she's all set up, and then she's just driving along and she encounters this person who like tries to steal something from her, and they get into fights or whatever. And then all of a sudden Black Widow is going, yep, I'm gonna stick my nose into this because I don't know why. I don't know, it just kind of felt weird that she felt the need to insert herself into this thing. Like, she's protecting these vials that she got randomly, so she doesn't even know what they are. She doesn't even know who really gave them. Her sister sent them to her, but she's like, I don't know what to do with these. So, what? And eventually she meets up with her sister, and for some reason their greeting is fighting each other. I don't know why, but whatever. That's their communication style, is fighting each other. And then they just kind of go on this quest on, like, talking about what these vials are, and the evil corporation. So gotta gather the crew and go stop them. So she meets up again with her father and mother, and breaks the father out of jail and meets up with the mother, and go boom boom boom. It's kind of hard to talk about because it's just so boring. It's definitely one that had not as many fight scenes as some of the other MCU films, which by itself I'm okay with, but the problem is the non-fight scene parts were just kind of not that interesting. Black Widow, like, her character, or at least how she's portrayed, is just she's just not really interesting when she's the lead person doing the talking. She's a lot better when the other quippier characters say things and she kind of says a thing afterwards. I don't really know how to lead it. Like, she's not a very good at carrying the film for me. Her dad, which, I don't remember the actor's name. Did I write it? David Harbour? My writing is really bad, so I don't know if that's actually what his name is. But he plays the Red Soldier, who's this retired kind of ex-superhero kind of thing. And he's hilarious. He's the best character. Black Widow's sister is also pretty funny at times. The Red Soldier guy, he's like in one scene and then he's not in the scenes for a long while, and like he's in a scene and he does a little fight, but then he's not in the scenes for most of it. So it's like, can we just have a I was like, can we just have a movie on the Red Soldier, because he's way more interesting. There's also a few times when they're trying to have heart-to-heart type conversations, and when they involve Black Widow, they just kind of sound like they're talking at each other. It doesn't sound like they're having much of a conversation. I guess could be like, it feels like they're reading their lines, or at least she's reading her lines, and it's just like, next line, next line. I don't know, maybe that's a little too far of a stretch, but they didn't feel like they're supposed to be heart-to-heart conversations, but they just felt like thing, response, thing, response. You know, it killed any sort of emotional stuff, and it didn't really develop her character at all. The other really big thing that I had a problem with deals with part of the final confrontation. I'm not gonna go to super duper spoilers. I don't know, maybe you want to watch this. It doesn't add anything to the MCU really, so you can skip it if you like. But she's confronting this big bad evil dude, like, yes, finally she can get her revenge on this dude that ruined her life, kind of thing. And she gets into a big old monologue, which at first is fine, because there's a reason why she can't attack right away. But then, after a certain amount of time, there's a point where she definitely can, and she just keeps monologuing, and then, haha, bad guy gets away. I feel like in other films, Black Widow tends to not be so stupid. I don't know the best way to say it. Like, usually she's like, let's get the job done, let's go do it. But this time she's like, nah, I have a word count to fulfill, and I'm gonna do it now. I don't know, it's just dumb. There's so much talking. I feel like they could have also made that scene so much shorter. Also, a minor quick thing, some of the CGI I felt like was really bad for an MCU film. I don't know if that's just because pandemic and less resources, time, or whatever, but it was a little bit like, oh, those explosions look kind of strange. Okay. So yeah, overall, I really didn't enjoy watching this, honestly. I mean, it's good that it doesn't really add anything to the MCU other than, like, the after credit thing sorta does, but not hugely. So if you want to, like, get all the tidbits of all the stuff and blah blah blah, you're probably not gonna miss anything much by not watching Black Widow. I guess there's some characters introduced that will probably come back. I think her sister is going to be coming back into other films. I hope the dad comes back, because he's great. But who knows? They're new characters. They're just like, hey, new character. They'll probably be sort of reintroduced anyway, because none of the other MCU people really know about them. So, I don't know. Anyway, really did not enjoy this. Really disappointing. And yeah, I don't particularly recommend watching this at all, unless you're a completionist MCU type of person, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let me know if you watch this, or and your feelings and that kind of thing on it. I'd like to know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye.